And then I'll tap Kibo, giving each of you a banana token. Then, I'll overload Vandal Blast. If you want to sacrifice your bananas, you can, but when everything goes to the graveyard, Kibo's ability will trigger 5 times and I'll put 5 1/1 counters on all of my creatures. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just unleashing guerrilla warfare on my opponents with my Kibo Uktabi Prince deck. If you're not familiar with Kibo, we can go over what he does right now. He's a 2/2 for 3 mana, and he has tap. Each player gets a banana token. Banana tokens have tap, sacrifice, add a red or green mana, and gain 2 life. Wizards has not yet created a banana token, so currently I use these banana candies, which I purchased from my local banana factory. Kibo also has, whenever an artifact an opponent controls goes to the graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on each ape or monkey you control. So if my opponents sacrifice one of the bananas I give them, or do something like blow up their soul ring, all my apes and monkeys, including Kibo, will get a bit bigger. Lastly, Kibo has, whenever Kibo attacks, defending player sacrifices an artifact. Let's peel back the layers of Kibo's strategy. At its core, this is an ape and monkey tribal deck, and my goal with Kibo is to take a lot of old school gorilla cards that in any other deck would be almost unplayable, and then use artifact destruction and Kibo's 1/1 counter ability to turn them into genuine threats. Normally, cards like Barbary Apes, Gorilla Titan, and Gorilla Berserkers should never see play in EDH. However, thanks to Kibo's ability buffing these cards, Barbary Apes is an on-curve creature which can easily become a 10/10 or greater, and Gorilla Titan and Gorilla Berserkers become even larger threats, which also naturally have trample. All 26 creatures in this deck are either apes or monkeys, and only one of them, Realmwalker, has Changeling. Otherwise, I avoid running the Changeling creatures as they feel like a cop-out, and I already have a Changeling tribal deck. I've also got ape-related cards, such as Bestial Fury, Gorilla Warcry, and Primitive Justice. Bestial Fury and Gorilla Warcry are playable thanks to their cantrip effect, and Primitive Justice is somehow a perfect mana sink for when I want to destroy a ton of artifacts. Speaking of artifact destruction, that's the second layer of the deck, which pairs nicely with the natural hatred apes have towards artifact technology. Artifact haters like Uktabi Orangutan, Gorilla Shaman, Gearbane Orangutan, Kogla, the Titan Ape, Kogla and Yadaro, and Silverback Elder all destroy artifacts, which in turn trigger Kibo's ability. I also run quite a few mass artifact removal spells: Anzrag's Rampage, Vandal Blast, Red Sun's Twilight, Kloth's Will, and Structural Assault all wipe some or all artifacts, and can provide other benefits such as card advantage or damage to creatures. Thanks to Kibo's 1/1 counter ability, mass artifact destruction can act like a crater hoof behemoth effect, buffing my gorillas large enough for me to bring about the ape apocalypse and end the game. Although apes are notorious for their hatred of artifacts, I've made room for 5 in this deck. I believe Kibo earned his title as the Prince of Apes by recognizing that these artifacts, despite being the natural enemy of apes, can sometimes serve a higher purpose in advancing the ape agenda. Monkey Cage is easily the most flavorful. It feels like the monkeys are trapped, just waiting for their ape comrades to smash them free. Liquid Metal Torque and Liquid Metal Coating are also key inclusions. These allow me to transform any of my opponent's permanents into artifacts, setting them up for removal with my various artifact destruction spells, or forcing sacrifices through Kibo's attack trigger. Of course, I've included Soul Ring, because this is EDH. And then there's the Great Henge. It's a phenomenal card, and since gorillas can't read Japanese, they have absolutely no idea it's an artifact. Apes don't have an issue with enchantments, so I've got 5 in here. Hardened Scales adds additional 1/1 counters, Colossal Majesty draws me cards, and Hidden Gibbons is a hilarious 1-drop enchantment that becomes a 4/4 ape when my opponents cast an instant. Lastly, there's Viridian Revel, which is a true standout. This enchantment lets me draw a card whenever an opponent's artifact hits the graveyard. That's already decent in any EDH deck, but in this deck, with 13 ways to destroy artifacts, plus Kibo's abilities, Viridian Revel is easily a solid 9 bananas on the banana scale. Otherwise, this deck has 4 card draw sorceries, plus Genesis Storm, and 5 ramp spells plus Jeska's Will, and 4 cards to protect my creatures: Silk Guard, Snakeskin Veil, Inspiring Call, and Untimely Malfunction. Untimely Malfunction is a great example of what I like about sticking to a theme. In a normal EDH deck, where you pretend your deck is bad but run CEDH staples, this would be Deflecting Swat. However, thanks to the artifact destruction theme of this deck, and thanks to the extra mana I normally have due to the banana tokens, I can justify running this unique card over a generically good card. Besides, while generically good cards like Deflecting Swat may be the obvious choice when playing a narrow format like competitive EDH, when playing a diverse format like Battlecruiser Magic, the modal spell is less likely to end up as a dead card in your hand. Lastly, as far as lands go, I've got a pretty standard and uninteresting package. Some duels, but not too many since Kibo only needs green mana and the banana tokens provide color fixing. I've also got these old school basics to pair with the art on the gorillas, and I run 5 of the cheaper modal double-faced cards. Otherwise, I've got Yavimaya Hollow, Hollow the Bandit Lord, Witch's Cottage, Kessig Wolf Run, and of course, Treetop Village. This deck is flavorful, fun, and surprisingly effective. It's the perfect blend of theme and power. If your deck isn't quite hitting the mark, don't worry. Fill out the form in the description, and I'll help you make your deck bananas. BANANANANS